Thank you for listening to the Out of Place podcast. This is the introduction episode of the podcast. It will help you understand what to expect. You are probably thinking, what the hell is this podcast? You clicked on it because maybe the description or the little happy face got your attention. What the fuck are you listening to? Yes, it's going to be that type of podcast. Not sorry. My name is Stephen Daniel, author and now podcaster. I'm just a regular guy who votes and makes life choices based on logic. I am not one who sides heavily on just one side. I don't have that sports mentality, it's like, oh, my team and it's all or nothing. I'm not. No, you have to agree with my side. If you don't, I hope you die. No, that's not the type of person I am. That is the kind of podcast you're going to expect. I am going to piss off so many fucking people. I'm ready to piss off conservatives and the delusional far right. I'm ready to mind fuck liberals and the lunatic far left. Everybody is going to be pissed off. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really do. I am a deplorable, moderate, libertarian, or whatever you want to call it, who is playing radio. That's pretty much it. I'm just playing radio. If anything I said to you just now triggered you, you don't have to fucking listen. You could turn off the damn podcast right now, leave a bad rating, go to the comments and cry, and after you do all that, go somewhere else and fuck off. I am not going to give trigger warnings in every episode. This intro episode is the only trigger warning you're ever going to get. This podcast is for that one person who just want to hear someone talk bullshit on the way to work. Maybe you're cooking, bathing the kids, doing yard work, whatever. When I record, I just imagine that one person other than family listening. So, how often am I going to upload? You can expect a new podcast once a month. I got a busy life, and that's all you're going to get from me. If you get bored, there are so many other podcasts you can listen to while you're waiting for the next one. What is this podcast going to have? There will be a touchy topic in each episode, and that is the part that is going to trigger people. I want to talk about all kinds of sensitive topics. After we get through those touchy topics, and after pissing people off, I don't want to end each episode feeling bad. I don't want you to go to work or whatever you have planned to go into it in a bad mood. So I want to end each episode with a fun topic. So we could be talking about abortions at first, and then we're going to end with maybe an embarrassing story. I may have random guests join me on certain conversations. I don't know. I do want to have news segments. I am going to have someone cover politics, someone cover gaming news, someone cover movies and TV news, and someone to cover theme park news. I will try and have people that can give you the news in an unbiased way. People who are willing to entertain others with all kinds of backgrounds. And I'm not paying these people. However, at the end of their segment, they're going to provide information that will enable you to support them. For example, you might love listening to the person hosting the politics segment. You don't care for me or any part of the podcast except for that person. So you're going to have the opportunity to support that one person. Another thing that I want on the podcast, and it won't be on every single episode, is the chance to interview fake celebrities. Here's what I mean by that. I am part of a voiceover community called Casting Call Club. In fact, anytime I need something for the show as far as talent goes, you can find my casting call project for the Out of Place podcast on there. Anyways, I'm always auditioning people on that side for people who can do impressions. Impressions of famous celebrities, whether it's real or fictional. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you could do a great impression of someone, go to the Out of Place casting call page on the castingcall.club. That's castingcall.club and upload your impression. It doesn't have to be recorded with the professional equipment like the news segments. It can be done on the phone, since I am going to apply like a phone effect on my editing software. Okay? So I am super excited to see what people could do. So let's move on to advertisements. I don't plan on having any sponsors, and there will be no affiliate promotions. I'm not trying to make a massive amount of money here on doing the podcast. I am doing this podcast for fun. This is just an outlet for a talkative person so that I don't have to continue driving my wife nuts. If you really, really want to support me, like after listening to me and you're like, I can't help it, I need to help you, you can't sleep until you do, you could do 3 things. 1, you could subscribe to me on Subscribestar. It's a crowdfunding platform just like Patreon. And on there, you can pay just $1 a month to hear exclusive content, which will be like reviews on movies, games, certain experiences, and maybe some random rants. 2, you can buy any of my books on Amazon and rate it. And number 3, share. That's all you have to do. Just share. You could share this podcast. You could share my book. You could share my website on Twitter or whatever. Just all you have to do is share. Those are if you really want to support me, and you have to in your heart, you want to in your heart, you could do any of those 3 things. That's it. I'm not going to convince you to buy other people's shit. I don't want to stop in between segments just to try to sell you on something like a Dollar Club shave shit or some other shit you may hear other podcasters and YouTubers do. With all that said, you are going to hear ads. But Steven, you just said, just hear me out. The ads that you are going to hear are going to be from independent musicians promoting their songs or concerts, independent authors promoting their books and audiobooks, and small local businesses. Pretty much for people who can't afford advertisements on the mass media network, the commercials and all that. It's really tough. Being an independent author myself, I do understand how hard it is to afford marketing. By doing it this way, by helping each other out, it's a way that we can all help each other. Like a song that somebody just recorded, and they spent hours and spent their money trying to record in a studio, and they just want to be heard. This is just a perfect opportunity for people to hear the music. And it's the same thing for the books, and it's the same thing for, that corner mom and pop donut shop or whatever, It's just a way to just help each other out. If you have an ad for your business or your product, all you have to do is record your ad as professionally as you can make it. Good enough so that people can understand you. Then you head over to my website at StephenDanielBooks.com. That's Stephen with a V, DanielBooks.com. And you fill out the form on my contact page. Once you make a request, I will contact you as soon as I can. And then I will ask for your audio clip. And once I review it and I like it and it's good to go, and I think it's appropriate, and then I will let you know which episode your ad is going to appear. Keep in mind that it won't be instant. Offering free advertisement, people are going to line up like crazy. I remember offering free book reviews to authors if they gifted me their books through Amazon, and it only took a month for me to place 43 books on the waiting list. That's it. And it just kept growing. I expect the same thing for ads, okay? Once you explore all of my profile pages that you can find on my website, you're going to find out that I currently live in Irvine, California. But the ads don't have to be in Orange County. It can be from anywhere around the world, as long as it's recorded in English and follow the same code of conduct you expect in YouTube. Oh, and no political ads. I want y'all to understand that me accepting ads from all over means that there will be companies that you might not agree with. There might be an ad for an ice cream shop owned by someone from the LGBTQ plus community, and in the same episode, there will be an ad for a bakery that has Christian values. I want you to listen to me. There's going to be no fucking cancel culture here. None. You could take that cancel culture thinking and shove it up your ass, okay? We're all going to be listening. We're all going to enjoy each other's company, all right? There's going to be music on this podcast. Depending on how many segments there are in an episode, the music is going to be played between the segments. I love music from all genres. I listen to whatever I'm in the mood for. I appreciate all kinds. There are amazing songs out there, and they're just, when you listen to the, professionals, when you listen to the big celebrities, and then you go to SoundCloud or Reverb Nation, and you listen to these independent authors, they're just as good. And just like the pros, there are some amazing songs and there are some shitty songs. And that's the same thing for every single genre. In every single genre, there's a shitty one and a good one. I do understand the difficulty on getting people to enjoy your music. Musicians struggle to get people to listen to them. They do. There's only so much they can share. There's only so much, family members and friends, and there's only so much that you can market. It just depends on how much money you're willing to put in it or how much money you do have. And because there is so much competition out there, all you need today is a good laptop, a good setup, a good software, a good mic, a decent mic, and now they make them great and affordable. There's some of them that they could be under $200, and they can give you some professional sounding if you quality if you know what you're doing. So there's so much competition out there, and I want to give my listeners the opportunity to listen to some incredible music. I have made connections with talented musicians on Twitter and LinkedIn, and I always try my best to support and share their music, the ones that I liked. Sometimes I like the music that comes from someone's bedroom than the ones done by the pros. Sometimes they do it better, but I want to showcase their music on my podcast because it's a great way to help them. So if you listen to a song you love, find it and support it. And I want you to prepare to listen to all kinds of music. I do. I want you to listen. I want all you guys to learn to appreciate all music. In one episode, you might hear country music, and the next song you hear in the same episode might be hip hop. If you are a musician and you want to share your music on this podcast, all you have to do is follow the same steps as with the ads. As far as quality goes, if it can be heard on the radio and people can hear it clearly, and then I like it, I'll showcase it on the episode. And just like the ads, there's going to be a waiting list. Y'all can't complain because it costs you nothing. Oh, and it doesn't have to be an original song. If you want to showcase yourself singing a cover song, go for it. Going live. I follow many YouTubers who like to go live, and the problem that I have with that is that they take forever to get to the point, which is most of the time is the reason why I clicked on their videos. I understand that they make money with super chats, and so that they do take their time to read each super chat, but don't expect me to do a live show. However, I do plan on doing a live holiday episode once a year with a neat giveaway. That will happen if our community grows by a lot. It might start this year or it might start next year. Who knows? It will be live somewhere in a public place like Disney Park or a mall or something like that. That will be the only time we go live. And I'm shooting to air the live podcast every year on the first weekend after Thanksgiving. Why I started this podcast. I always had a lot to say when I hear stories or hear people complaining about dumb shit. I am also a talkative person. Growing up, I got in trouble a lot for talking too much. In my elementary school days, I remember being reprimanded by my teachers and parents just for talking. I remember this Frankenstein, tall, crazy bitch 4th grade teacher I had who loved to get me in trouble with my mom. At least it seemed that way. I could be turning around, not talking, and my friend could be like, hey, Steven. And I would turn around, and sometimes I didn't say anything. And she would just accuse me of talking, and I would get in so much trouble. Her name was Mrs. Burrows. And here's what that lunatic did. As soon as she thought I was talking, and sometimes I did, I ain't gonna lie, I did talk sometimes, and sometimes I didn't. But she would stop talking, she would yell at me, and it didn't matter if the other kids were talking. She just yelled right at me and shamed me in front of the whole entire class. And then that's not all, okay? You some of you are, that's not so bad. No. And then she would go to her desk, grab her 90s brick cell phone out of her ugly ass purse and call my mom at that exact moment. She would be calling and it would be like, hello, Mrs. Joanne, your son Steven has interrupted the class and he's making it impossible for the other children to learn what I am trying to teach them. And she would just go on using her big words. Oh, it was just so fucking embarrassing. And it felt like I was the only kid that went through that. I don't remember any other kid going through that in that class. Maybe it was 4th grade and we were bouncing. We had more than one teacher, but I don't remember. And maybe she did it with other classes, but in my class, I don't remember any other kid going through that same thing. So it was absolutely embarrassing. And guess who my parents believed? My mom is a short Hispanic woman with a temper. Most of you understand that, and I don't have to go on. Anyways, I always talked. Like when certain comedians talk about wives talking too much, I'm always like, that's me. I'm the wife in that situation when it comes to talking. My wife is the one that doesn't talk too much. So if I had to do it all over again, knowing what I know now, I probably would have gone to radio broadcasts so that I could get paid to talk shit. After some time, and it wasn't that long ago, I think it was about a year ago, and I was back and forth, about starting a podcast. And then it was December of 2019, and I say, you know what? I think it would be fun. And here we are. Now the world can hear my bullshit. Who am I? Since this is an introductory episode, let me give you some information about myself. I was born and raised in South Florida, graduated in 2004 from Flanagan High. I wanted to be a film director, but due to financial issues, my parents could not send me to the film school I wanted to go to, and I wasn't even qualified for the loan, so couldn't chase that dream. I met my wife in 2005, and we dated for 3 years. We got married in 2008, and she joined the United States Coast Guard in the same year. Our first base was in Seattle, Washington. We lived there for a year, and then they moved us cross country again to Key West, Florida. Our firstborn son, Nicholas, was born in 2012. We moved from Key West to Baltimore, Maryland in 2013. Our second son, Nathaniel, was born in 2014. In 2015, we moved from Baltimore, Maryland, across country again to Alameda, California, which is across the bay from San Francisco. We could actually see the San Fran from the house. Our third son, Christian, was born in 2016. And in 2019, the military had us moving again, and we headed to Southern California. My wife currently works in the San Pedro Coast Guard Station, and we live in Irvine, California. Right now, it is 2020, and we are still living in Southern California. We have 8 more years in the military and looking forward to settling down in Orlando, Florida, which is my second home growing up. And one thing you're going to learn about me, I am a huge Disney fan, so prepare on me talking a lot about Disney. If you have a problem with this, I don't care. Fuck off. That's a quick summary about me. Throughout my podcast, you will learn even more juicy stuff about me. Thank you for listening to the intro episode. The first official episode will be uploaded on February 14th. And understand, Out of Place is not going to be perfect. It is going to be all over the place with random shit. To all y'all who made it to the end, I love you, I appreciate you, goodbye, and always remember to smile.